All right, yes, thank you very much for staying with us once again and joining us on this channel, Sports 70GH. It's always a great pleasure to have you join us. Thank you very much for staying. A lot of issues are trending when it comes to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The players for Super Eagles of Nigeria doing very well over the weekend. All right, we are going to talk to you about all of the players who did well, scored goals, performed well, kept clean sheets, and the rest. We are going to talk about them. Very unfortunate that Super Eagles player Calvin Bassey has received racial abuse after Fulham eliminated Manchester United from the English FA Cup at the Old Trafford, where in which game he scored. All right, yes, he has received racial abuse, and we are going to talk to you extensively about it. The NFF has sent their support to Calvin Bassey. The Premier League has commented on it. His club, Fulham FC, have also sent a very strong statement condemning the actions and other things also on that. We are bringing the details, and then look at Victor Osimhen having his 20th goal involvement for Galatasaray in the league, and then also other Super Eagles players who performed very well over the weekend. Please do well to subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell, and select all. Thank you very much for staying with us. Where do we even start from? Let's start from Nwabali. Stanley Nwabali is obviously the #1 goalkeeper for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He keeps for Shepard United in the South Africa Premier League. All right, yes, and he's a very, very competitive goalkeeper over there. He will be imposed for Nigeria Super Eagles when they face Zimbabwe and Rwanda in the upcoming African World Cup qualifiers. Okay, yes, in the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. Now, he kept the post for Shepard United when they went away to play versus is it Barclay United. Okay, yes, and he kept a clean sheet on that particular day for Shepard United when they played over the weekend. Yes, in Nwabali keeping the clean sheet for Shepard United. 5 saves on the day, 1 save from outside the box, and he had 3 clearances also on the day. He had a very, very good game, making sure to keep the clean sheet for his team. 8.2 ratings by SofaScore. Yes, he kept a clean sheet over the weekend. Omar Sadiq for Valencia over the weekend. They had a very, very interesting game versus Osasuna. 3-3 the game ended. Valencia are trying their very best to battle relegation and to save themselves from relegation, and Sadiq Omar is trying to help them do that. And over the weekend, he gave them 2 goals, 2 beautiful, fantastic, brilliant goals by Omar Sadiq to ensure that at least Valencia will take home 1 point, but I'm sure they will be disappointed in the long run because they were very much near to getting all the 3 points, but it just didn't happen for them. Nathan Talla of Bayer Leverkusen, he featured in a game for Bayer Leverkusen versus Eintracht Frankfurt. They won comfortably away from home, and Bayer Leverkusen continues their away form, fantastic away form. They are unbeaten in a lot of away games, I think 28 or more away games, and they continued versus a very difficult Eintracht Frankfurt side, winning the game 4-1. And Nathan Talla, Super Eagles striker, scoring on the day for Bayer Leverkusen. When we continue, we go to Cyril Dessers. Cyril Dessers also scored a goal for Rangers versus Motherwell in the Scottish League. Such a very top quality striker for Rangers, has been on form, performing very well for Rangers for some time now, and he ensured that he get a goal for them over the weekend. Cyril Dessers, another Super Eagles striker, scoring. Samuel Chukwueze got an equalizer for AC Milan in their 2-1 loss versus Lazio, but then he got the equalizer at a point in time, and then when the game was about to end, in fact, with the last kick of the game, Pedro scored the second goal for Lazio, giving them a 2-1 win over AC Milan. AC Milan have lost their last 3 games in the league, versus Torino, they lost. Versus Bologna, they lost. And then over the weekend, they lost to Lazio in a game I think that they didn't play well at all. But Chukwueze getting a goal for them and trying to be very, very important. In fact, he's not trying. He's an important player for them when he comes off the bench. When he starts for them, he's just good. And yesterday he gave them the lifeline, but they just couldn't hold up to get at least 1 point from the game. AC Milan really struggling very well, but Super Eagles player Chukwueze scoring a goal for for himself and the club. Now let's talk to you about Calvin Bassey. Yesterday, Calvin Bassey scored for a header for Fulham United in their 1-1 draw and subsequently knocking Manchester United out of the English FA Cup on penalties. All right, he scored a first goal for them, and then Bruno Fernandes equalized, and the game eventually went to penalties. Fulham qualified on penalties. Now there is this story Emirates FA Cup page on Twitter has carried about Calvin Bassey, and I just want to talk to everyone whose confidence is low on certain things and who doesn't believe in themselves that much, because Calvin Bassey has had a wild ride to the top according to English FA Cup Emirates FA Cup page. Now he faced continuous rejections from academy sides across the country as a youngster, having unsuccessful trials with the likes of Leyton Orient, Charlton Athletic, Crystal Palace, and Wolves. Leicester City took a chance on him as a 15-year-old, and Bassey hasn't looked back since. He's played across Europe and tonight scored a crucial goal for Fulham FC to help knock out Manchester United in the FA Cup. So that has been the background, the history of Calvin Bassey. A lot of rejections. Can you imagine Leyton Orient rejecting you? Can you imagine Charlton Athletic rejecting you? Can you imagine Crystal Palace? They are not even the top most clubs in England. It's not like Arsenal, Manchester United, or even Liverpool. These clubs were rejecting him, but then he didn't. He never said no or never. He never said never. He didn't relent, and he kept going. Leicester City gave him the chance. He improved. He went to Ajax. He's back in England for Fulham, and he's doing very well, scoring a goal for Fulham United to ensure that they kick out Manchester United out of the FA Cup. And after the game, that is when he had racial abuse from a certain fans or from Manchester United, and the words they told him are very bad. He shared some on his I think Instagram and Snapchat stories, and it was very bad. Like, you have to really condemn it to the highest level. Fulham Football Club brought out this particular message on the racial abuse their player have suffered, and they are very clear on that. Let me just go through. Okay. So this is what they are saying in summary. Fulham says that we are utterly appalled at the racist and homophobic abuse received and subsequently shared by Calvin Bassey on social media after yesterday's FA Cup against Manchester United. They continued in their main release that they are going to partner with any agency to ensure that they fish out all of these people who have racially abused their player, and they are going all out to support the player, and that is a very beautiful thing. After Fulham tweeted this, a Premier League account also tweeted this, saying that Premier League is appalled by abuse suffered by Calvin Bassey after Fulham's FA Cup tie against Manchester United. We will offer our full support to Calvin and the club. We work with social media companies and authorities to help ensure any individuals found guilty of discrimination face the strongest possible consequences. Football is for everyone, and there is no place for discrimination in our game or wider society. If you see or hear abuse, report it. So that is the Premier League's support for Fulham, and then for Calvin Bassey on the racial abuse he experienced or he got after the game versus Manchester United in the English FA Cup. The NFF also sent their message in support of Calvin Bassey. The Nigerian Football Federation, through the Super Eagles, says that the NFF stands firmly against all forms of discrimination against racial abuse, including racial abuse, and fully supports Calvin Bassey. In the face of these unacceptable actions, we are committed to creating a safe, inclusive, and respectful environment for all players, both on and off the field. Calvin has our unwavering support, and together we will continue to fight against racism in football and in the society. So the NFF is doing very well. The Super Eagles account on Twitter and social media is doing extremely well, supporting Nigerian players who will find themselves in certain situations one way or the other at their clubs. The last time it was Ademola Lookman, they came out to fully support the player and throw their full support behind him. And this time it is Calvin Bassey, and they are doing same for him, and that is very, very impressive by the NFF and the Super Eagles contingent. All right, yes. So this has been some of the trending issues surrounding Calvin Bassey after the Manchester United game he played. Now let's talk to you about Victor Osimhen, who has 20 goal involvement this season in the Super League for Galatasaray. Now, over the weekend, it was an unfortunate one for Galatasaray as they drew 3-3 with Kasimpasa. The first leg was 3-3, the second leg was 3-3. What a game that was. But then Victor Osimhen scored 2 goals for Galatasaray, ensuring that he clocks 16 goals in the league for Galatasaray and 4 assists. All right, so adding up, getting 20 goal involvement for Victor Osimhen. We all remember a very difficult summer Victor Osimhen had with Napoli, and then finally at the dying best of the transfer window in Turkey, he got transferred to Turkey, and then he is having an explosive season in Turkey. He is a real striker and goal putcher, and this one is even understatement. Anyhow you say it is an understatement, because he's proving himself in all angles. Belgium, Italy, now in Turkish league, in various European competitions, UEFA Champions League, Europa League. He's been scoring goals and he's been doing well. Victor Osimhen is just the man, and there is nothing else anyone can add to it to make it more satisfying. Is that not it? So that is some of the issues we brought about. All right, so let's talk to you about Victor Osimhen. He actually won the man of the match of the game, playing 90 minutes, having 2 goals, and then he had 2 shots on target, all of them giving a goal. In fact, he scored a 3rd goal, but then was disallowed for offside. Yes, he scored a 4th goal for Galatasaray, but then was disallowed for as offside over there. So that's it about Victor Osimhen and all the other Nigerian Super Eagles players. Please do also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for staying. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.